And I trust that you are also ready our for our lesson for today, right? So for today's lesson, we are going to do nouns, right? So we're going to do nouns, and our chapter it's nouns. The lesson for today is to complete the sentence with the verb to match the picture, right? So if we go to the tutorial page on aplusstudents.ca. So once you go to aplusstudents.ca and then you're going to log in, and you're going to log in with both your username as well as your password, right? All right, so you are logging in with your username as well as your password. Then you're going to select the subject of language arts because that is what we are doing. We are doing language arts, right? And then we're going to click on grade 2, right? So grade 2, language arts, right? All right, so once you have selected the subject of language arts and grade 2, right, because that is the grade that we're doing, you're then going to scroll down to the chapter of nouns. So we are doing the chapter of nouns. So click on nouns. All right, so once we are in the chapter of nouns, and then we are going to do a few lessons today, which is to select the nouns, which word is a noun, to identify nouns, and hopefully to identify common as well as proper nouns, right? All right, so we're going to start by select the nouns. All right, so on the screen, we are first going to start with the definition by defining what a noun is. And a noun names a person, it names an animal, it names a place, as well as a thing, right? So a noun, it names, right? Not necessarily saying your name, calling your dog or cat by its name, right? No, it just names um, a person, animal, it names a place, or it names a thing, right? So that is what it does. So a noun names a person, an animal, a place, or a thing. And if we look at the few examples that we see over here, so a person, right? So some nouns name a person. So if you name a person, then you can maybe either say, can identify the noun as a girl, or you can identify it as a boy, right? So that is a noun. A noun is a girl or it is a boy. It doesn't necessarily have to be Sarah, doesn't necessarily have to be Jim, right? Or the name Caleb or something. You can then just identify them as maybe it's a girl, right? The girl the girl kicks the ball, right? Or the boy um, jumps something, right? So we then identify a person by then, for example, saying girl or boy, right? So that is how we identify a person. So some nouns, it names a person. Then some nouns name an animal, right? So then we can either identify them as a duck. In this picture that you see over here it's a cat. You can even identify more animals as the dog, snake, lion, right? Whatever you feel you want to identify the animal as, right? Or whenever you see a picture, right, then you'll be able to identify that specific animal, right? So some nouns also name animals. Then some nouns names a place, right? It names a place. Like, for example, if you look at this picture, where do you think this is or what this is, right? It's got a bench, trees, a nice walkway or pathway, right? So this is a park, right? So park is a place that we can identify as, right? So the children played in the park, right? So park is a noun that we can identify. Zoo. The zoo is full of animals, right? Because the zoo has lots of lions, right? So the zoo is also a place, right, that is being named, right? And at the zoo, we will find different animals. Then some nouns also names a thing, right? Like, for example, a hat, a train, a car, a bowl, right? So these are all the things that are being named, right? So nouns names a thing, for example, a hat, a train, a car, a ball, and you can even think of more things, specifically things if you are even sitting in your room, in your house, sometimes you're at school, wherever you go, you will be able to identify nouns all around you, right? It is things. The fact that you're maybe sitting in front of your laptop, your computer, right? Those are things. Um, the family members that you have in your home, which is brothers, sisters, mother, father, grandparents, those are people or person that you're identifying. Pets that you have at home, right? You have a hamster, you have a fish, dog, cat, right? Whichever animal you have, it's an animal that is a noun that you're identifying, right? A place, if we identify, if you are sitting at home, your house is a place, right? So that is a noun. The house, the even the garden, school, right? Those are all nouns. The mall, it's a noun that names a place, right? So a noun, it names a person, an animal, it now names a place as well as things, right? So those are all nouns. All right. And there we just have things again, right? So if you think of a few more nouns, right? If you think of a few more nouns, specifically of the things that you maybe have in your home, right? Then you can maybe mention nouns that are animals or that identifies it as a place or a thing or even as a person, right? So if we maybe go to the whiteboard, right? Oopsie, there it is. Great. Right? So if we identify the nouns, right? So remember we are selecting nouns. If we go back to our if we go back to this page, right? It says a noun names a person, a place, an animal, or a thing, right? So that is a noun. And here it shows that nouns are person, and there you see lots of kids, right? Even the teacher is identified as a noun, right? Animals, and there we see different pictures of the animals that identifies as the noun. So dog, cat, different animals that we made mention of. Things, right? Even maybe the fact that you have your pen in your hand, right? That is identified as a noun, right? Um, Pens or crayons, your bag, maybe a bowl or something. Place, right? Your house, that is also a noun, right? Those are all nouns. And nouns are people, just person, it's animals, it's places or place, and it is things or a thing, right? And here are but a few examples of nouns, right? So, people, right? So, if we identify people, then we can say the noun is a girl, can maybe be the pirate on the ship, the boy, can be the teacher. And then in the meantime, you think of more examples of nouns, right? You think of more examples of nouns. Then we also have place, right? Place. It names places, right? So then maybe we have the school is a place, which is a noun. The city that you are maybe living in, or the state that you're living in, right? And then we also have the park. That is also a noun, right? The field, right? The kids are running on the field or on the track on the field, right? We identify that as a place. Then we also have animals, right? We identify animals. Then we can then maybe say it is a dog, it is a cat, a snake is also an animal that you can identify. A rat is an animal that you can identify. A lion can also be an animal that you identify, right? And then we have things that we can also identify, because remember, nouns are also things, right? For example, an apple, it's a thing, right? A book that you're reading, it's a thing. The table is a thing. A ball is a thing, as well as a pencil, right? So those are but a few of the examples of people or person, places, animals, or things, right? These are a few nouns or examples of nouns, right? So once again, a noun names a person, a place, an animal, or a thing, right? So those are nouns. So if we go back to the tutorial, right? So these were just a few of the nouns that we identified, or the nouns that we basically selected, right? So let us quickly do a little test to see if we will be able to select or identify the nouns. All right, the other say we need to find one noun, right? And a noun names a person, an animal, a place, or a thing, right? So we need to identify the noun within these three options that we have over here. It's either a dog, sometimes, almost, right? We need to identify the noun, either a person, an animal, a place, or a thing. So either dog, sometimes, almost. So dog, sometimes, almost. You need to find one noun, only one. All right, so a dog, right? And a dog, it's an animal, right? So we chose the dog, which is an animal. So if you chose the dog as an animal, then that is correct, right? We need to find one noun in the second one. So, money, dog. Off, sorry. So, money, off. You need to choose the correct noun. Remember, you choose either a person, an animal, a place, or it can be a thing, right? So, money, off. Can you choose or find one noun? You need to find one noun. All right, so what we're gonna do is let's quickly do this. All right. Okay, so if you said money, somebody says money. Money is correct because money is a thing, right? So money is not a person, it's not an animal, it's not a place, but it is a thing, right? Money is a thing. So well done. We need to choose one more noun, right? From, very, or friend. From, very, or friend. Choose one or find one noun, right? Remember, it's either names a person, an animal, a place, or a thing. Is it from, very, or friend? Well done. So, friend is incorrect. Somebody chose friend. So, friend is a person, it names a person, right? So, that is a noun, right? So, find one noun within the next one, right? Remember, a noun names a person, an animal, a place, or a thing. Is it cup, very, or again? So what I'm going to do is, let me quickly choose very, right? So I chose the incorrect one. Very is incorrect. So cup is a thing, right? And remember, if you make a mistake, right? If you make a mistake, so well done to the person that chose cup, right? So cup is correct because cup is a thing. It names a thing. But remember, if you make a mistake, then you can always go back to the tutorial, right? It will take you back to the tutorial and it will basically show you how you do it, right? And yet is the noun is a cup and it names a thing, right? It names a thing. So well done to those of you who got the correct answer, right? Which is cup and it names a thing, right? Beautiful. All right, so if we go back to our lessons, right? So now we're going to go to the next one that says, which word is a noun? So we selected different nouns and we also said what a noun is, right? A noun names a person, a place, an animal, or a thing, right? So now we are going to have to identify which word is a noun. All right, so if we look at the tutorial page in front of us, right? Once again, it says that a noun is a word that names a person, a place, or a thing, right? That is a noun and also an animal, right? So I'll put animal over here, right? So those are all nouns, right? So some nouns name people and they also show woman, friend, teacher, right? Woman, friend, teacher, and of course, we have many more. So you can even identify even more nouns, right? Which names people. Then a few nouns also, some nouns also name places like town, library, and park, right? So remember, we said a place, it's even your house or home, the field, those are all nouns, right? Then some nouns also names things like bicycle, a horse, flower, right? And remember things or horse we can put under animal even, right? Flower, book, pens, right? Those are all nouns that we can identify, right? Or some the nouns or things that we can name. So we can name people, places, things, or even animals, right? So that is a noun. So if we look at our first question, do you climb on the rocks near the river? Did you climb on the rocks near the river? It says, is the word in bold a noun? River. So they want to know if the word in bold is a noun, river, right? So did you climb on the rock near the river? We need to identify, not identify, you need to say if that is a noun, river. So river is correct. So the word river is a noun and it names a thing, right? So it names a thing, right? So the river names a thing. So yes, it is a noun. Okay. The children took the football to the open field. So took. If you look at the word took, the word in bold, took, is the word in bold a noun? Took. You need to say if the word took is a noun, right? If you say yes, it is a noun, then you need to either say if it's a person, people, if it names places, or it names a thing. Took. All right, so we are then going to say took is not a noun, so no, right? Because took is chosen action, which means that it is a verb, right? Took is an action, it is not a noun. So the word took is not a noun. It does not name a person, a place, or a thing. So beautiful. So if you said no, it is not a noun. Well done. The boys will race home after school today. The boys will race home after school today. We need to say, or we need to say yes or no to the word after. So is after a noun. Does it name a person, a place, or a thing? After. The boys will race home after school today. So after, is that a noun that names a person, a place, or a thing? Right? After. All right, so if you said not, then that is correct, right? Because after is not a noun, right? It does not name a person, a place, or a thing. So well done to those who said no, it is not a noun. It does not name a person, does not name a place, or does not name a thing, right? All right, let's go to the next one. Our country's flag is red, white, and blue. Our country's flag is red, white, and blue, right? We need to say if the word in bold, which is flag, if that is a noun, right? Does it name does it name a person, a place, or a thing, right? So flag, is that a noun? And yep, it is a noun because it names a thing, right? And then once again, did you climb on the rock near the river? River is also a noun, right? So if we go to the test to see which word is a noun, right? All right, so now we're going to do the test. We're going to do a few, about 2 or 3 questions together. And then remember, you are going to do the rest on your own, right? Because once you do the rest on your own, then you'll also be able to get an idea of how or which word is a noun or how to identify a noun, right? So the boys will race home after school today, right? Is that a noun? So they're asking, is the word in bold a noun? After. The boys will race home after school today. You need to either say yes or you need to say no, right? So is the word in bold a noun? And the word in bold is after, right? All right, so if you said off, it's no, then that is correct because after is not a noun, right? Did your brother tie those pieces of string together? Is that a noun? We need to say either yes, it is a noun string. Does it name a person, a place, or a thing? Or no, it does not name a person, a place, or a thing. String, right? String. All right, let's do this. So, string is definitely a noun, right? It is a thing. My dad, so dad, whistles on his way to the office. So, dad, right? Is that a noun? We either need to say yes, it is a noun, or no, right? So, dad, is that a noun? Yes or no? So, Sam says yes. So, let's go with yes, right? So, if you said yes, that is a noun, then that is correct because it names a person. You can throw this basketball up into the air. You can throw this basketball up into the air, right? Is throw a noun, right? Okay, so we're going to say throw is a noun, right? So throw is not a noun, right? So it is incorrect, right? Throw, it does not name a person, a place, or a thing, right? Throw is something that you do. So it's an action, right? And that is supposed to be a verb, right? So remember, we are only naming a person, a place, a thing, or an animal, right? So throw is definitely not a noun and it does not name a person, a place, or a thing, right? So if you said no, that it is not a noun, then well done, right? If you said yes, then remember whenever you make a mistake, right, or an answer is incorrect, it will always take you back to the tutorial and it will tell you how you need to do it, right? All right, so now we're gonna go back, right? We're going back to our lessons. Here we're gonna have to identify a noun, right? We're gonna identify a noun. Once again, we said a noun is a word that names a person, a place, or a thing, right? If we look at the first sentence, right? Here it says, the shovel is under the old table, right? We need to identify two nouns. They want us to identify two nouns within the sentence, right? Two nouns. The shovel is under the old table. We need to identify two nouns within that sentence. The shovel is under the old table. Identify two nouns within the sentence. All right. If you said shovel as well as table, then that is correct, right? That is a two nouns because those are naming things, right? So the noun shovel as well as the noun table, it identifies or it names a thing, right? Okay, let's go to the next one. Did your younger brother find his blue pen? We need to identify two nouns within that sentence. Did your younger brother find his blue pen? Two nouns, right? Remember, a noun, it names a person, it names a place, it names a thing, right? As well as an animal, right? So, did your younger brother find his blue pen? We need to identify or select the two nouns, right? All right. So, the two nouns that we are going to select is brother and pen. Beautiful. The person that said brother and pen, that is correct, right? So we don't really have to say blue pen, right? Because blue is just describing what type of pen, right? It's describing the noun. But brother and pen, those are the two words that are the nouns within the sentence, right? So brother, it names a person, and pin, it names a thing, right? So brother names a person, and pin, it names a thing, right? Okay, so they want us now to select three nouns within the sentence. Three. The monkey swung from the tree by its tail. We need to identify three nouns within that sentence. Three nouns. Remember, a noun, it's a word that names a person, a place, and names a thing, right? Animal. All right, so if we choose one, so long, then we have monkey, right? Which identifies or it names an animal or thing. We have tree, right? Tree is a thing. And we also have tail, right? So those are the three nouns that we have selected. So we have monkey, tree, and tail. So monkey names either a thing or animal. Tree is a place, right? So where by the tree, and tail is a thing, right? That we can identify or select as a noun. All right. So now that is identifying nouns, right? Identifying nouns. If we go to a little test to see if we will be able to identify nouns, right? Yeah, they say we need to choose the three nouns. We need to choose or select three nouns within the sentence. My dog chased a chipmunk in the woods. My dog chased a chipmunk in the woods. Is it option one, chased chipmunk woods? Or is it dog chipmunk woods? We need to choose the correct word, right? The correct words, three nouns. Is it chased? chipmunk woods? Or is it dog chipmunk woods? Which option? Is it option one or is it option two? The three nouns that we need to select within the sentence of my dog chased a chipmunk in the woods. All right. So if you select option two, then that is correct, right? Because it's dog chipmunk woods. Already the first word within option one, chased, that is not a noun, right? If you have option two, then that is correct. We need to select two nouns. My brother broke his new kite. My brother broke his new kite. Is it brother and kite? Or is it brother and new? We need to select the two nouns in the sentence. My brother broke his new kite. Is it brother and kite or brother and new? We need to select the two nouns, right? So it's option one or option two. All right, let's choose option one, right? And option one is correct because it names a person, brother, and it also names a thing, which is the kite. The fox ran through the gate. We need to select two nouns. The fox ran through the gate. Is it fox and ran or fox and gate? We need to choose the two words. We need to select the two words that are nouns. Option one, which is fox and ran, or option two, fox and gate. All right, let's do this quickly. Let's choose option one. So option one is incorrect, eh? Because ran is an action, right? So ran is an action that you do, right? So if you selected option two for fox and gate, then that is correct. Those are two nouns, right? However, remember if you choose any words or any answer that is incorrect, it will then take you back to the tutorial, right? So basically, no answer is, we're not going to basically say that the answer is incorrect, but if the answer is incorrect, then we will basically take you back to the tutorial and basically it will give you a breakdown of what the correct answer is, right? So fox, it names a thing or animal, and gate, it names a thing, which means that option one was incorrect. So option two is then the correct answer, right? All right. So that is it on identifying nouns, right? So that is it when it comes to identifying nouns. Okay, so let's go back, right? So we're going to do the last one, right, which is identifying common as well as proper nouns, right? So here we need to identify common and proper nouns, and we will be able to see what the difference is between the two of them, right? So remember we said that a noun, it names a person, a place, or a thing, right? And under thing, we can even say animal, right? So that is a noun. Now we have common nouns as well as proper nouns. And a common noun, it names general. It names a general type of person, a general type of place, or general type of thing, right? And a common noun does not begin with a capital letter. Remember when we um, write certain nouns, right? If you just write a general noun, right? Say, for example, girl, boy, dad, teacher, right? Unless that that general person or general noun is the start of the sentence, that is when we are going to write it as a capital letter. So a common noun does not begin with a capital letter, right? Except when it is the first word in a sentence. Because remember, a sentence starts with a capital letter, right? However, a proper noun, right? A proper noun, it names a specific person, a specific place, or a specific thing. And when we say specific, right? And then it means that instead of saying girl, we are going to say Sarah. Instead of saying boy, we are going to say Jack. Instead of saying a place like either just city, we are going to name the city or the town or the place and say Toronto or South Africa or Europe, right? Instead of just saying thing, we're going to name a thing by the specific thing by its name, right? So a proper noun, it always begins with a capital letter. So proper noun, it names people, places, and we basically need to write that with a capital letter, right? Like for example, over here, like a boy, like the common noun. Common noun is, for example, boy, day, street, city, right? So these are just general things. Like they say a general boy. We can mention any boy, right? So common noun just says boy, but it can be any boy. Common noun just mentions day, but it can be any day of the week. A common noun just, for example, mentions the street or the word street, right? But now it doesn't identify what street we're talking about. Common nouns just says city, right? So which means it can be any city, right? However, a proper noun, it names a specific person, place, or thing, right? For example, instead of just saying the boy, we can then mention Jacob, right? You see, and the name also starts with a capital letter, right? Instead of just mentioning any day, right? We are specifically saying Tuesday or Monday or Wednesday, right? And that also starts with a capital letter. Instead of just using a general street, because this can be any street, it is identifying Elm Street, right? And that is also written with a capital letter. And instead of just mentioning any city, any random city, right? Or a general city, we can then specify by saying Chicago City, right? And that also starts with a capital letter, right? So that is it for common nouns as well as proper nouns, right? And remember, we said a noun, it is a word that names a person, place, or thing. And then we have common nouns that names general types of things like a general person, a general place or thing, right? It does not start with a capital letter unless it is the first word in a sentence. Because remember, a sentence starts with a capital letter and it ends with a full stop, or not even a full stop, it ends with a end, like a period or exclamation point, or it basically ends with a end point. However, a proper noun, it names a specific person, specific place, or specific thing. And a proper noun always begins with a capital letter. So, grade twos, thank you very much for being part of our class. And I really hope that, it was very informative as to the nouns, right? And that you also know what a noun is, from general noun to a proper noun. So I really hope that you are going to have an amazing evening.